Walk through eval pipeline design and human in the loop setup.
This is the full loop from raw data all the way to a decision. And there is one part the interviewer is really watching for, which is the human in the loop. It is not about whether you mention humans, but where they sit, on which cases, and how their judgment flows back into the model or the prompt. Here is the trap on both sides. An answer with no humans fails because you are trusting an automated grader nobody ever checked. An answer with humans on everything also fails because it does not scale past a demo. The strong answer puts humans in exactly the right place, focusing on the cases automation is worst at and nowhere else. This question tests whether you can design a standing process rather than a one-off measurement. Anyone can score a model once. Running an evaluation pipeline that samples the right data, grades it cheaply at scale, spends scarce human attention wisely, and feeds what it learns back in is the actual job of owning an AI feature. The interviewer wants to see it drawn as a cycle with the feedback arrow closing and a real rule for who reviews what. Over the next few minutes, I will walk through the 5 stages, show you a worked example that routes 1,000 cases a week down to about 120 for humans, and point out the moves that prove you have run one of these instead of just sketching it. Draw it as a cycle rather than a line because the output feeds the next round. That framing alone puts you ahead of most answers that just draw a straight arrow, stopping at a score. Stage 1 is sampling the right data. Do not evaluate on a random dump because a random dump is 90% easy head traffic and your numbers drown out the cases that matter. Stratify it by taking the head intents by volume plus a deliberate oversample of the rare and high-risk cases so they are not buried. Pull from real production logs, keep a frozen held-out set so you can compare versions, and add a small adversarial set you wrote on purpose. Say the nuance out loud. The sample has to match production distribution for your online metric, but it should overweight the tail for your safety metric. Those are two different sampling goals, and a good answer keeps both slices. Stage 2 is running auto-eval first at scale. Run every sampled case through automated checks. Use deterministic ones wherever you can, like schema validation, tool call correctness, and exact match, because those are free and exact. Use an LLM as judge with a written rubric for the semantic cases where there is no single right string. The point of auto-eval is coverage. It is cheap, so it covers the entire sample. And crucially, it produces not just a score, but a confidence or an agreement signal. That signal is what you will use to decide who needs a human. Stage 3 is routing to humans by disagreement and risk. Humans are the scarce resource, so you spend them where automation is weakest and only there. There are 3 routing rules. First, cases where the LLM judge is low confidence or disagrees with a reference. Second, every safety flagged case with no exceptions. Third, a fixed random audit of 5 to 10% to keep the judge honest even where it is confident. A judge that is confidently wrong is the one that hurts you, and confidence alone will not surface it. That is the human in the loop, and the word that matters is targeted rather than blanket. Stage 4 is feeding the human labels back, which is the arrow most people forget to draw. Human judgments do 3 jobs. They become new golden set labels to grow your test set over time. They surface failure clusters of similar mistakes that drive the next actual change. And they recalibrate the automated grader. Draw the arrow from human labels back to both the golden set and the judge. Say both out loud because feeding the set is obvious while recalibrating the judge shows depth. Let me push on that recalibration point because it is where an interviewer will test you. You have an LLM grading thousands of cases, so how do you know it is any good? You measure judge versus human agreement on the slice humans reviewed and treat it as a real metric with a threshold. Say you hold it at 0.85. When it drops below that, you do not panic and rip the judge out. You read the disagreements to find the pattern, because there is almost always a pattern. Maybe the judge is too harsh on short answers, or it is rewarding a confident tone over correctness. You fix the rubric with a couple of concrete examples of the disagreement, rerun, and confirm agreement climbs back. That loop keeps the grader trustworthy. Being able to describe it is the difference between simply using an LLM judge and running one you actually validate. Stage 5 is adjusting and deciding. The output of the pipeline is not a number, but a decision to change the prompt, fine tune, add a retrieval source, or tighten a guardrail. Then rerun the same frozen set to confirm the change helped and did not quietly regress another task. Gate the release on the frozen set and then A/B test it online. Set a cadence of weekly offline and continuous online sampling, so this is a standing process the team runs instead of a heroic one-off before a launch. Let me ground it. The feature is an AI that categorizes and routes incoming sales leads, so a wrong route means a hot enterprise lead lands in the wrong queue and goes cold. Here is the pipeline, stage by stage. On-screen reference block, lead routing eval pipeline. Sample, 1,000 leads a week, stratified so rare, enterprise, and partner intents are 20% of the sample despite being 3% of volume, plus 100 adversarial edge cases, ambiguous, multi-intent. Auto eval, exact match on the routing label against the 600 lead labeled golden set LM judge with a rubric for the unlabeled remainder, schema check on the structured output. Human loop, 2 reviewers, handle all Judge V's reference disagreements, about 8% of volume, every enterprise route, money at stake, and a 5% random audit. Roughly 120 leads a week to humans, not 1,000. Feedback. Reviewer labels grow the golden set, Judge vs human agreement tracked weekly. Alert if it drops below 0.5. Misroutes, clustered by cause. Adjust. Last cycle found partner leads misrouted to SMB, fixed with 2 rubric examples plus a retrieval field for partner domains. Reran the frozen 600. Routing accuracy went 0.88 to 0.93. No regression on other intents. Shipped, then A/B on live routing. Walk it through. The sampling is the first tell. I am pulling 1,000 leads a week, but I'm deliberately making enterprise and partner leads 20% of the eval, even though they are 3% of real traffic. Those are the leads worth real money, and I need a stable read on them, rather than 4 noisy examples. I also keep the 100 adversarial cases separate. Those are the genuinely ambiguous ones where routing quietly falls apart. AutoEval covers all of it cheaply. I use exact match, where I have a labeled reference, an LLM judge with a rubric for the rest, and a schema check so the output is even parsable. Now for the human loop, and watch the numbers because this is the core of the answer. 2 reviewers do not see 1,000 leads. They see the 8% where the judge and the reference disagree, plus every enterprise route because money is on the line, plus a 5% random audit to keep the judge honest. That is roughly 120 leads a week instead of 1,000. These specific cases give us the most critical signal because they target the exact blind spots of the automated grader. Then the loop closes. Those reviewer labels grow the golden set so the test next month is richer. I track judge versus human agreement every week and alert if it falls below 0.85 because a drifting judge is a silent failure. I also cluster the misroutes by cause. Last cycle, that clustering found something specific where partner leads were getting misrouted to SMB. The fix was not a retrain. It was 2 example rows in the rubric plus a retrieval field for partner domains. I reran the frozen 600 and routing accuracy went from 0.88 to 0.93. I confirmed no other intent regressed, then shipped and A/B tested it live. That is the full cycle. Notice the change was cheap and precise because the pipeline told me exactly what was broken. One more thing to have ready, because interviewers love this follow-up, is how you staff it. The honest answer is You do not need an army. Two part-time reviewers can handle 120 cases a week comfortably, and their time is worth it because those are the labels that keep the whole system calibrated. If human volume ever creeps up, that is a signal in itself. It usually means the judge got worse or the model started failing in a new way. So rising human load becomes an alarm rather than just a cost. I would also give the reviewers a tight rubric of their own, so two humans grade the same borderline case the same way. Human graders drift too, and an inconsistent human label poisons the golden set just as badly as a bad model output. Here is what makes them lean in. Your humans are targeted at disagreement, risk, and a small random audit instead of being thrown at every case, so the design actually scales. The loop closes properly. You use human feedback to correct grader drift and expand your test set, and you monitor judge versus human agreement instead of assuming the grader stays right forever. Your sampling overweights the risky tail while keeping a production match slice for the online metrics, which shows you understand those are two different jobs. You also keep a frozen set for release gating separate from the growing labeled set, so your version comparisons stay honest. Each one is a small signal that you have operated a pipeline instead of just diagramming one. Now for the ways it falls apart. The first trap is saying a human reviews the outputs with no rule for which outputs. That sounds responsible, but dies the moment volume goes past a demo because you cannot review everything. The second trap is never checking the LLM judge against humans. The entire pipeline ends up trusting an unvalidated grader, and if that judge is quietly wrong, every number downstream is wrong too. The third trap is random only sampling. It feels fair, but never surfaces the rare high-risk cases where the model actually fails because they are too rare to show up in a random draw. All three are comfortable, and all three leave you blind exactly where it counts. So here is the whole cycle. Sample stratified, overweighting the risky tail, and keeping a frozen held-out set. Auto-eval everything cheaply with a confidence signal. Send humans only the disagreements, plus the risk cases, plus a small random audit. Feed their labels back to expand the test set and correct grader drift, and watch judge versus human agreement like a metric in its own right. Then adjust, rerun the frozen set, gate the release, and A/B test online on a standing cadence. The line to carry in is to sample stratified, auto-eval everything, send humans only the disagreements plus risk plus a small audit, and then feed their labels back